Assalamu alaikum. My name is Akif Nawaz, and in today's class, we are going to talk about the use of colon and some of the common errors that we usually make while writing things down. So, in order to make our writing perfect, we need to understand the correct usage of colon. So, the thing is, first of all, we have to talk about that what is a semicolon and what is the function of it. So let's start. The first thing is that a punctuation mark used to introduce information or elaborate on a preceding statement. So हम कह सकते हैं कि जब हम इंफॉर्मेशन को इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं और साथ ही साथ जब हम प्रीसीडिंग स्टेटमेंट को एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, प्रीसीडिंग स्टेटमेंट मीन्स कि वो स्टेटमेंट जो हम कह देते हैं और उसके बाद जो आने वाला स्टेटमेंट होता है वो एक्सप्लेनेटरी होता है किसका, जो हमने पहले यूज किया हो। तो हम कह सकते हैं कि द फर्स्ट वन दैट इज यूज्ड इज अ प्रीसीडिंग स्टेटमेंट एंड द आफ्टर दैट द कमिंग वन इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट। ठीक हो गया। तो इन दोनों के दरमियान हम क्या लगाते हैं, कॉलन लगाते हैं, लेकिन इसको हम एग्जांपल से समझने की कोशिश करेंगे तब आसान लगेगा। सो द फंक्शन इज टू कनेक्ट क्लॉजेस, लिस्ट्स, explanations and quotation. So that is the function of the use of colons. Now let's talk about it further, that where we are using it, the proper punctuation mark. So first of all, in order to introduce a list, अब यहाँ पर आप देखिए in this sentence that she bought several fruits, apples, bananas and cherries. Now the thing is, apple, bananas and cherries, all of them are fruits. So हम कह सकते हैं कि this is a list in which we are going to talk about fruits. So that is why we have to use colon in the middle. So the colon introduces a list of items. Now the second thing is that when we are supposed to explain something or to summarize something, so हम यहाँ पर use कर रहे हैं कि he had one fear, that is spiders. Now यहाँ पर आप देखें he had one fear, so यहाँ पर हमने colon लगाया है and we are saying spiders. And why is that? Because we are explaining the fear, that what is the one fear, the fear of spiders. So हम अल्फाज को नहीं extra use करते, rather we are relying on the use of a single colon in the middle. So explanation is the colon introduces an explanation of the preceding clause. So the first one, this one is the preceding clause, he had one fear, and this one is the explanation of it, that this fear is of spiders. So I hope आपको इसकी समझ आ गई होगी. Now the next one is before quotations. So जब हम quotation marks को use करते हैं, she said it best, colon, and after that to be or not to be, that is the question. अब यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं, so we are introducing a colon, a quotation mark here. So before the start of quotation mark we have to use semicolon. So the next thing is हम कह सकते हैं कि colon introduces a direct quotation. Direct quotation को जब हम introduce करते हैं we're supposed to use colon before that. फिर फॉर्मल लेटर्स और टाइटल्स में हम सॉलिट्यूशन के बाद हम इसको लगाते हैं. सॉलिट्यूशन जब हम एप्लीकेशन में लेटर्स में हम लिखते हैं डियर मैडम, रिस्पेक्टेड सर, एटसेट्रा एंड एटसेट्रा. सो राइट आफ्टर दैट वी हैव टू यूज कॉलन. हम कॉमा भी लगाते हैं बट कॉमा मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स इनफॉर्मल लेटर्स में हम यूज करते हैं, जिस तरह हम फ्रेंड्स को लिखते हैं, जान पहचान वालों को लिखते हैं. सो हम कॉमा यूज करते हैं. बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू फॉर्मल लेटर्स, सो यहाँ पर आप देखें डियर हायरिंग मैनेजर, या जब हम बुक्स में एकेडमिक कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यूज करते हैं द आर्ट ऑफ वॉर अ स्टडी. सो यहाँ पर आप देखें अगेन ये प्रीसीडिंग स्टेटमेंट को एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है, क्या चीज है, अ स्टडी. सो यहाँ पर हमें इंट्रोड्यूस करना है कॉलन. और अगर आप इस लेक्चर के टाइटल को भी देखें, सो हमने द कॉलन लिखा है, फिर उसके बाद कॉलन का सिंबल हमने यूज किया है, फिर हमने एक्सप्लेन किया है कि व्हाट आर द थिंग्स दैट आर गोइंग टू बी टॉक्ड अबाउट इन दिस सेंटेंस. सो हम कह सकते हैं कि कॉलन, और उसको फिर हमने एक्सप्लेन किया है विद द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ कॉलन. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट इट फर्दर, that let's see what else do we have to consider. The third thing is in order to emphasize on a specific information. यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं there was one thing he feared most, that is failure. Now one thing that he feared most is again explained through the use of failure, the word failure, that this is the only thing that he is afraid of the most. So in order to emphasize on a particular item we have to use semicolon. Now the next thing is separate independent clauses when the second explains the first. Means, for example, we have a sentence in which there are two clauses, but two things to keep in mind. First of all, both the clauses must be independent clauses, and the second of all is that both the clauses must be related to each other. Now let's talk about the example. She had an idea, start a community garden. Now, first of all, she had an idea, it's an independent clause. Start a community garden, again it's an independent clause. Now, idea and starting a community garden, now both are related to each other. So in the first clause we have an idea, in the second clause we have the explanation of that idea. So हम कह सकते हैं कि ideologically or thematically both the clauses are related to each other, and that is why we have to link both of them through the use of colon in the middle. So I hope you would have got this idea as well. Now let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Let's talk about the common errors. अब यहाँ पर आप देखें that using a colon after verb or preposition is wrong. The ingredients are flour, sugar, and eggs. Now it's a helping verb, so we're not supposed to use it just to look academic or just to look more intelligent. We're not supposed to do that. It's a helping verb, and helping verb, after helping verbs we're not supposed to use it. So the correct form would be the ingredients are flour, sugar and eggs. So हमने comma के through इसको आगे लेके चलना है. So हम कह सकते हैं कि avoid using a colon direct after a verb or preposition. Now let's talk about another common error that we usually make is to incorrectly linking unrelated clause. अब यहाँ पर देखिए, the care is sleeping, I will eat lunch. Now care is sleeping has nothing to do with eating the lunch. So हम कह सकते हैं कि here it's both are unrelated to each other. So that is why हम नहीं use करते. It's better to use period after both of them. Period means full stop. Okay. Now let's talk about another common error, that is redundant colons. Redundant colons का मतलब ये है कि we are not supposed to use colons just for the sake of using it. Rather हमने appropriate जगह को देखना होगा. Her favorite hobbies are painting, reading and cycling. अब यहाँ पर हमारे पास ये है कि हमारे पास है her favorite hobbies are painting, reading and cycling. So हम कह सकते हैं कि यहाँ पर हमने नहीं यूज करना. And why is that so? Because of the fact that हमने इससे पहले भी डिस्कस किया था कि हेल्पिंग वर्ब के बाद हम नहीं यूज करते. It's better to use commas in the middle. So do not use a colon when the list is direct object of the verb. Now these are the direct objects: painting, reading and cycling. So that is why we are not supposed to use it here in this sentence. So जहाँ पर हमारे पास जो objects होते हैं वो direct object हो किस चीज के, verb के, तो हमने नहीं यूज करना. अब अगर मैं इसको summarize करूं तो सबसे पहले हमें पता होना चाहिए कि where to use colons. So these are the three places where we are supposed to use it: to introduce list, to explain it, and to separate titles and subtitles, emphasize the second clause. So we have already discussed it. Now where to avoid the use of it? So after verbs or preposition, while connecting unrelated independent clauses, and the redundant use of it in sentences. So these are the places, these are the things we are supposed to avoid its usage. So I hope so कि आपको समझ आ गई होगी the use of colon. So if